Okay guys, so I'm gonna show you how to do the impossible shape, or at least how to get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and just download one of these templates. Remember, to download the template, you need to click on it, and then you're gonna go down to the bottom where it says download image. And once I've downloaded that, I can go ahead and open up Photoshop, and then I'm gonna say File, Open, and here's my template. And remember, you're welcome to use your own image. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna go ahead and use this template. These templates, by the way, are pretty high res. I think I have them at 12 by 18 by 300. So you can work within this document. You don't need to open a new piece of paper. You can if you want, but you don't need to. All right, so I've got my template here. Again, so I'm gonna break this image right now. It's just all one layer, right, all together. So I'm gonna go ahead and break it into 3 different layers. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth tool down, magic wand, and I'm gonna go ahead and click on my first section. You can choose if you want to break this into, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different things. Right? I've clicked and selected it all. I have my tolerance at 35. Remember, you can adjust your tolerance if you need to. If I click contiguous, then it will only select, let me go ahead and click somewhere else, Control D. You can see it will just select one section. So you don't need to do, like, let's say you wanted to do like every other one or something like this. If you didn't want to select all of them, you could just select a few individual. But I'm going to go ahead and select all of them. And again, the easiest way to do that is uncheck contiguous. And now every purple or whatever, magenta purple in my document has been selected. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and break it onto its own layer. So I need to say plus to create a new layer. Edit, fill, color. It doesn't matter what color. Oh, I just made it a light pink. Control D to deselect. I'm going to go back to my background layer. Now I'm going to choose my blues. Plus, edit, fill, color. I'll change it to another color. Okay. Control D to deselect. Go back to my background layer. And now I'm going to click on this last section, plus, edit, fill, color, and I'm going to choose another color. And again, I'm just breaking my image up into some different colors right here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab an image to put in here. You can use anything you want, like take your time looking for images. I'm gonna do maybe, I don't know, I'll do my oil spill texture or something, let's see. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and use this one. Actually, let's see. I want one with color so I can show you with Control U. So maybe I'll do this one. Oh, this is like a too low res. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pause. Tools, size, large. All right, let me get, all right, I'll do this. So I'm gonna right click, copy image. Then I'm gonna paste it in. So right now I'm working on you can see that this is my first one. So Control V to paste. Control T to transform. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my other layers just because they're getting a little bit, it's hard to see. And now I need to right click, say create clipping mask. And there it is. I can still Control T it, so I can still move it around if I would like to. All right, and I'm actually gonna use this same image on all of my layers just so I can show you how you can recycle one image and you can change it in some different ways. All right, so I'm ready to do my side over here now. So I'm just gonna hit Control V to paste it again. Control T, maybe this time I'm gonna change the angle. So again, I'm just rotating it around with Control T. Something else I can do is I can hold the Control key. So if you hold the Control key, you can individually, you can see that it changed to like this little white arrow when I press and hold Control. And now I can individually move each side. So I think I'm gonna do that. Just gonna individually move each corner here to kind of rotate, kind of like change the angle of this. And I like that. Actually, I'm gonna shift this one a bit more. And I think I'm good because I need to cover the magenta right there, so I like it. I'm gonna hit enter, right click, create clipping mask. So you can see I recycled that same image and put that over there on the side. And now I'm gonna do my last one. Control V to paste, Control T to transform. And this one, you know, maybe again, I want to distort the angle a little bit. So I'm gonna hold Control, and I'm just gonna shift these edges. And I'm gonna make that kind of match. Oopsies. Grab the wrong point. There we go. All right, so I have skewed that and right click, create clipping mask. All right, so I've got that in there. I'm gonna go ahead and shift this over because the watermark. So I'll make that a little bit bigger so it can fill that area. All right, so I'm liking this, but because I've used the same image for all of the sides, it's really kind of blending together. I'm gonna go ahead and throw something in the background real quick. So remember I told you that we could do gradient. There's gradient right here. So you can try a gradient in the background. There's lots of different styles of gradients. So I'm gonna use maybe a radial gradient. Okay, and I'm gonna hit reverse. So that way I have light to dark. You can change, let me go ahead and zoom out. You can change the scale. So that way it's like, you know, a little bit outside of your edges of your picture. And then if I do the drop down here, there are so many built-in gradients that come with Photoshop. So feel free to use one that's already in here, or you can make your own, right? You can tweak it yourself. So I don't know, I kind of like that one. I'll use this one for now, and then I can adjust it later if I want. I'm gonna change the scale down a little bit. There we go. All right, so I'm happy with that. But again, each of my sides is kind of blending in with one another. So there's a few things I could do. One, I could just tweak the color by using Control U. So I could click on this layer, I can hit Control U, and I could change, you know, the lightness or darkness of this one individual side. So maybe it's the top, maybe I want to make it a little bit lighter. I could do that. That's definitely one thing I could do. I could also completely change the color of this side. So maybe I'm completely changing the color. I'm changing the saturation. I'm going for something else. All right, so that's another thing you can do. I could also paint on this, add some shadow and some highlight, right? So that's another thing I can do. So maybe I want to go at the edge and just add a little bit of shadow around this edge to define that. So I'm going to say plus to create a new layer. I'm going to go ahead and grab my paintbrush. I'm going to grab a dark paintbrush. I don't have to use black. I think I'm actually going to use like a navy blue, maybe like a dark blue. And then remember, what kind of brush do I need? I need a soft brush, so make sure your hardness is at 0. Opacity, I'm down a bit, and I want a nice big one. All right, and again, I'm working on this layer, so maybe I'm gonna go around these edges and just kind of darken these edges. And I'm not worried about the fact that this is bleeding outside of my image because I'm gonna use a clipping mask in just a moment. So again, I'm just kind of shading these edges, shading that, shading this. And that's going to help define your different edges so they show up a little bit more. Now it's bleeding everywhere. That does not look good. So I'm going to right click, say create clipping mask, and now it's going to be contained in there. All right, same thing. I'm going to go to this one, and I feel like this one, same thing, needs a little bit of help on my edges. So plus, maybe I'm gonna, you know, again, shade this side or whatever it is that I want to do to kind of just make these edges pop a little bit more. And again, whatever I'm doing, I'm going to right click, create clipping mask. Okay, so that's how you can kind of make those edges stick out a little bit more. I do think actually I do want to go ahead and brighten up this top part with maybe the Control U. You could also do brightness contrast, so that's another thing. So I think this is my top one right here. And I'm going to go ahead and go on top of this layer. I'm going to go to my yin yang. I don't know if we've done this before, but I'm going to go to brightness contrast. And I'm literally just gonna brighten this. And you can see right now it's brightening my entire image. So I need to add a clipping mask. I can right click, create clipping mask like usual, or if I see this little like square with the arrow down, that is also a shortcut for putting on a clipping mask. You can see it did the same thing. So right click, create clipping mask. And now I can click back in here and I can, you know, again, I can darken this, I can lighten this, etc. So maybe I'll lighten this side and then maybe this side over here. Which side is that one? That is, which layer? This one. Maybe this one I'm going to darken a little bit. So I'm going to go right up there, yin yang, brightness, contrast, and maybe again I'm going to put my clipping mask on, and maybe I will darken this one side to just try and help these sides look a little bit more individual, right? They're like a little bit running into one another. Okay, so those are some ways to get started. Also, don't forget about atmospheric things. So, you know, blend modes. So let me find some clouds or something. You know, don't forget about your blend modes. Copy image. Let's see here. I want to do actually. See if I can find a black and white image. Here we go. Right click, copy image, paste it in. Whoops, I need to put that on the top of my layer stack, so I'm just going to drag it to the top. Control T. And I'm going to use one of my blend modes. So maybe screen, or screen I think will be good. Maybe I'll low opacity that, etc. So I can give it like a little bit of something else. Maybe I want this kind of just in the bottom of my image. Maybe I want to recycle this image, Control J, Control T. Maybe I want, you know, more of this cloud. I'm going to flip it just so it doesn't look exactly the same. Maybe I want some more of it here. Maybe I want another layer at the bottom. I don't know. Okay, so go ahead and play with the atmospheric effects as well as some cutouts. And let's see. Let me maybe grab one more thing. And again, you're going to spend more than like 10 minutes doing this image, right? So this is just for the demo. I'm just trying to quick show something, but you're going to take your time. The images that you're finding, the way you're transforming them, etc. But think about blend modes. Think about adding shadow and highlight. Oh, it's not pasting. There we go. Don't forget, control if you need to shift the individual edges. Shift if you just want to stretch the entire image. So I'm holding shift so I can stretch that to fit. And, you know, maybe I decided I don't want any of these, or maybe I want to change my background completely. You can go back and change it to something else. Let's see. Maybe I want a gray. I don't know. You're going to take your time and you're going to play around with your image. I think I'm going to get rid of these clouds here. Maybe I'll move this texture down to the back. Oopsies. This down here behind my image.